picked up another bye, so he's actually only wrestled one match. Miranda, in the meantime, beat Joey Palmer, lost to Funfinger, and then got a bye in the back. So the winner of this match will wrestle Sam Jones, and then Dalton Roberts will get the winner of Travis Rice and Max Nowry on the top side of the bracket. If you're unfamiliar watching this for the first time, Greco-Roman, you cannot grab the legs and you cannot use your legs for offensive or defensive purposes. So it leads to big throws, and it leads to sometimes a lack of scoring because it's so hard when you can only attack half the body.
Currently wrestling on mat number 3, Greco-Roman 60 kilos in the red from the Sun-Kissed Kids, Taylor Lamont.
His opponent in the blue from the New York Athletic Club, Brandon Miranda.
You see a lot of hand fighting here. In Greco, if about a minute to a minute and a half in, no one has scored, one person will be rewarded a point and have their choice of putting the other guy down and try to lift or turn. Miranda's pulling on that head, trying to get that to pay off for him either now or later in the match, rather, where he can get his neck tired, get his hamstrings, lower back, and create some more offense. Lamont gets warned first, so Miranda gets the first point. Lamont will go down. He has to lay flat and what's called present himself. Can't be in a little ball, has to have open arms and legs. Miranda will start on his knees off to one side or the other, hands on the back. Looks like he's going to try a reverse lift. He's got his lift, got his hold rather. Switch to a front headlock. Lamont's fighting the hands. And they call him neutral before he can get to the lift. You got a minute 10 left here in the period. You're going to see just a lot of hand fighting on the corners. One of the things to understand in freestyle or Greco-Roman is there's no overtime. There's always a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker usually is one of three things: the best, the worst, or the last. What we mean by best is the highest point move. So if one wrestler has 4 points on a 4-point move and the other one has 2 twos, the 4-point wrestler wins. The next is worst. If there's been penalty points or anything like that, the person with the least amount of penalty points is the winner. If all those things are tied, the person that scored last is the winner. Looks like we're going to probably finish the first period 1-0. It's not been a super high activity match. Lamont trying to get an arm drag. Scores big on the edge. Boy, that was really smart. 4-point move late. Feet to back. They're going to throw a brick. So a brick is a challenge. You're allowed to challenge as many times as you want in a match until you lose your challenge, and then you're not allowed to challenge anymore for that match. So he's challenging either that he stepped out of bounds first and it was just one without continuation, or that it was only a takedown without back exposure. My monitor in front of me actually went out for about 3 seconds, so I'm going to be watching the replay with the rest of you guys. So we're watching on the big screen here, 16, 15, 14. Hits the little drag. Trying to run the corner, gets him to the edge. The question is if he stepped out and there was a pause. If there was a pause, okay, the challenge is lost, so it now becomes 5-1. And blue cannot challenge for the rest of the match. You watch the NCAA wrestling tournament, schools were allowed to have multiple challenges. Again, you don't lose your brick if you're successful, but the number you start with is different. It was there based on how many athletes you had in the tournament. Here it's one per match. Miranda's going to have to get to some offense. Lamont's got not only a 4-point lead, but he's got a 4-point move, which is obviously, as we said earlier, worth more than 2 twos or any other combination. Lamont's on that 2-on-1. .45 seconds down. Miranda's got to find a way to get to offense.
And victory on number 4. From the Titanburger Wrestling Club, Nathan Tomasello. And your winner on magnitude from the Army's World Class Athlete Program, Max Nowry.
Not a lot going on right now, folks. Minute and a half. Attempted throw. They just bring him back up. That's called a slip. If you generate offense and it doesn't work.
Round 4, Gregor Open, 67 kilos. In the red from the New York Athletic Club, Peyton Omanya.
His opponent in the blue from the All-Marine Wrestling Team, Jamel Johnson.
Down to a minute 10.
67 kilos in the red from the Minnesota Storm, Calvin Germinal.
His opponent in the blue from the New York Athletic Club, Nolan Baker.
We got a little blood time going here. We're back at it, 35 seconds left. I don't know what Miranda's doing there. I think he wants Lamont to take hold, but there's no reason for Lamont to take hold. He's the one winning. So the referee told him not to do that. He did it again. He tried to give him caution in 2. It was white paddled off. And that's going to do it. Lamont wins with that big flurry at the end of the first period and wrestled a really smart match. He advances.
Three from the Sun-Kissed Kids Wrestling Club, Taylor Lamont.